Oddly enough, people give a lot of flack for any mythic and legendary banners for being really bad luck. I've had very mixed levels. This is one of those examples where I did actually get a very good amount of luck. I got two Volks from the Ascended Hero banner, so one with plus attack minus defense, which is going to become my new base. The other one is plus res minus defense, so that's either going to be a merge or something that I can give either lethality, sturdy impact, null follow up, or times pulse to. But the main thing that we all came here for is the legendary Veronica and mythic Embla banner. And whoo boy, did I get lucky! I got the first one that I got was a plus HP minus defense legendary Veronica. I managed to pull a 4-star special plus speed minus defense Shannon. So I already have him as a Forma unit. I managed to pull 2 copies of Embla, with both of them sadly being plus HP, one being plus res, one being minus attack. And then I also managed to pull a much older unit, a plus res minus defense Bramimond, which will take over from the plus HP minus defense or minus res version that I already had. And as a bonus, I also did pull a no IV neutral Ymir. So with the spark including 2 Veronica, I managed to +1 both the new units as well as +1 my Bramimont, and then I believe I also can +2 my Ymir if I decide to, or I can use her for the attack res Unity and attack res Fortrace. So for point values from these legendary mythic banners, I usually give element 5 stars. So any of the legendary and mythic units, I give them 2 points each. So we have the 1 Veronica, the 2 Embla, and then the 1 Bramimont. So that's a total of 8 there. I got 1 of the normal pool 5-star. That's Ymir, so 1.5. And then I also managed to pull the 4-star special, being Shannon, so 0.5. So excluding the points that I would have gotten from Volk, as I usually will do, I got 10 points for this entire banner. And once again, I'm excluding the spark from my calculation. So there's a total of 7 questions. This is going to be a lot longer video than I usually do, so let's go right into it. So question 1 is going to be on duo units. So currently there's only one duo unit available to all players at any time. That being the year 3's Ephraim and Leon with the Reginlef. So all others, including harmonic units, all current harmonic units as well as all other duo units, are currently locked to seasonal. So the examples I give below are all from the first year, just about. So we have Mia and Masked Marth, so Lucina. We have Young Tiki and Ninian. And then for duos, we have Bearded Hector with Young Lilina. We have Alphonse and Sharena. Alm and Celica. We have Idun and Fa. We have the Pegasus sisters Paula, Katria, and Est as their younger forms. And then finally, we have Sigurd and Deirdre. So this is pretty annoying for any brand new players or free-to-play players, as there are definitely good things about these units. I think probably because of what Hector got for his refine, just in general, the kit that New Year's Alphonse offers. And just for any person who wants one of these, it's a lot harder to pull them just because they're not always available. And this is especially true if you're a player that prefers catalog over +10ing your units. I personally would rather get complete catalog over giving +10 to all of my units. So do you think that there's a way to add more duo and or harmonic units to the normal pool aside from moving them from seasonal status? So the examples I gave are the ones that I'm currently missing. So I would definitely love to see these actively get moved to the main pool as opposed to just being stuck in the seasonal stop point. But other points that I would like to suggest are maybe theme-based ones, like an Ostian Knight banner where you have Oswin, then you have Barth, you have Boars as a 4-star focus, and then Boars again along with Wendy as a duo unit. There's definitely options for multiple characters being available just as other options. Like you could also go with a mercenary banner with Wade, Lot. You could go for Deke as being a sword wielding 4-star focus. And then for your duo unit, you could have Board and Cord, the brothers. But I think the best way that I can think of adding a duo unit for all free-to-play players, as opposed to like what we did get duo Lin and duo Ninja Korin, but unfortunately those are no longer available for as a freebie. Instead, you get a you have to just pull them if you're a newer player. So instead, what I would suggest is a duo version of Marla and Hestia, the older sisters of Sonia, as well as the two oldest daughters of Jeddah from Echoes. And what they could easily do is, instead of being just a 4-star duo unit, they only allow you to attain the duo status once you hit that 5-star mark. And again, the reason I suggest this is because we are getting to the point where even GHB units are getting stupidly broken, especially with what kits you can create for them. So that's the thought process that I have for duo units. Question 2 refers to a fully rearmed banner. Is it possible to make one? So theming wise, fallen banners probably are the best start point for a fully rearmed banner. So every unit has a rearmed weapon. And the reason being is because we've had a lot of cases where the rearmed hero is either a fallen unit or a dead unit. So we have Lif, we have Robin, we have I think the only one that I can think of that we don't really have is Alfred from Engage, and that's one of the weirdest choices I've ever seen, where he's just rearmed for the sake of being rearmed, I feel like. So a start point could easily be repeating some weapons, unfortunately, but you could also go ahead and open it up to, like, we already have axes, we already have lances, we have swords, we have red tomes, we have dragon stones. So the options are, I could go ahead and see maybe a arcane green tome as a arcane version of Naga with a fallen Deirdre. We can have a arcane version of Julia with a blue tome, especially since we've seen her fallen form. Now we can always see her fully hypnotized form, so like fully possessed form. As for a beast, I could say Fallen Dedue using the Crest Stone. And then one unit that I wouldn't mind seeing a duplicate of, wielding an arcane version of Irvon, is Grail, as he is one of the only units that is stuck in seasonal hell with no other versions of himself, going on at least 4 to 5 years at this point. So to recap, Grail, Dedue, Deirdre, and I was going to say Crom with a lance, but I think Julia could also be an option for that one. Next up is 12 Crusaders. So we have Uller, very good light defense mythic. Only one of the 12 Crusaders that has been actually put in the game. Who would you want next? So the one that I actually want the most is the Falar, the bloodline of Arvis, Hilda, Julius, and to an extent Julia. So it's the main wielder of the Valflame, especially since she's Magic Knight option, so mounted tome, upgrade to what Valflame could do, and then another example is the first ever special for tome, exclusively for tomes, because we don't have anything like that yet. Granted, staffs are a little bit more saddened because they have a lot of units that haven't gotten upgrades, but to be fair, you have a lot of base level staffs have the ability to either get wrathful, or dazzling. So no counterattack, or just calculate your damage as regular. So while that's not necessarily the most negative portion, it certainly is a very open-ended to say if they're actually in that bad of a situation. So the other option would definitely be Balder, so Sigurd's bloodline, just because it would be another option to make an evolution of the Tierfling. So not just the Hallowed gift or the Holy Tierfling, maybe Primordial or Beginning Tierfling, maybe. So those are the two that I would want specifically. And then for on the same kind of topic, what could I see for mythic heroes? So one of the things that I've always wondered is, could we ever make a mythic duo? Not just like the example of Asker and Embla being a duo unit for the New Year's banner. I'm talking like a duo unit that's also a mythic unit. So the possibilities are that the unit doesn't give any bonuses, but it counts for 2 elements. So it could be like light Astra or dark Anima or light dark even. The other option that I could see in general is taking, say so Sigurd and the Spirit of Balder and making a unit kind of like a possessed version. So the other easiest option would be Lewin and Forseti, even though that would be more like a mythic or legendary level, but it would be you would have the basic Sigurd as kind of like a what if he managed to successfully stay alive before and not get killed by Arvis, but he's also possessed. The other way to look at it is he's possessed by Balder, similar to Lewin being possessed by Forseti. And so this could be not only have a duo skill instead of the mythic bonuses, but it would also be a mythic unit giving bonuses to during special seasons or during the Aether Raid season. And then the final 3 questions are once again, who gets an alt first? So we're going to go by Axe unit first year, Arthur or Barst. So both of these units are kind of on the same level of you really can't use them as well without heavy investment. But while I feel like Barst has the ability to do his Rep and Refine, while it's just Wrath, is still Wrath. For Arthur, his axe is kind of a weird buff if there's a penalty. So his luck is the main decider for this, but I would say that I would place Arthur higher on that list just because I want to see what they could do as a like unlucky banner, like make a fully like you could include Arthur and Setsuno with this one, make every single character have a class that's based on being unlucky. Then next up would be this one feels like a little bit of an easier one. It's Gwendolyn or Kedgel. So another one of the cases where they're both Lance Knights or Lance Armor units. The difference being that Kedgel is a 4-star special, whereas Gwendolyn is a 3 to 4-star. Kedgel is a year, I believe, 2 or 3. Gwendolyn is a year 1. Kedgel got a bonkers refine. Gwendolyn got a so-so refine. Kedgel has a decent kit with Bold Fighter. Gwendolyn really doesn't have anything. So I'm going to give this, while most people might say Kedgel deserves the alt more, I would say that Gwendolyn deserves it more because not only is she one of the most unlucky units in Fae, she's also one of the most unlucky units in her entire game. So when you recruit her, she's a level 1 Lance Knight, so Armor Knight. She has absolutely horrible stats at a point when most of the enemies are at least level 8 to 10. And as soon as you recruit her, or the chapter after you recruit her, leads into 3 to 4 chapters of nothing but axe units, which not only might kill her in one shot, but if they don't kill her in one shot, will most likely double her. So Gwendolyn gets this vote. And then I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm actually going to do a duo pairing of either Sully or Stahl or May and Bowie. So this is one of those cases where it's the Christmas Cavaliers, the Cain and Abel of the game. So you have the lance and sword. You have the blue and green tome. Now, a lot of people have been kind of arguing for May and Bowie. May, especially since her art makes her look way too young. She's 17. She's just 1 year under the 18, I'm a full adult kind of thing. But also don't forget that this is medieval times. Same thing with Bowie, who's actually a year younger, yet he could look like he's in his mid-20s. And unfortunately for this one, I really can't say anything because none of these units at all have ever been touched or even come close to being touched for an alt for more than 5.5 years. So, I mean, if I was going to say I want to see May and Bowie as a bridal alt, I'd say for Sully and Stahl, you could easily do like a Halloween alt for them. I think because I'm more of an Awakening fan over an Echoes fan, I'm gonna say Sully and Stahl. But again, if they chose May and Bowie first, I would not be surprised or saddened at all. The only comparison that I would actually kind of push for is giving Gwendolyn an alt over Kedgel from just this example that I'm giving. It's not a fair example because I'm choosing Awakening versus Binding, 4-star, 5-star versus 3 to 4-star. Better kit versus worse kit, but the fact that she has the worst kit to me says they need to do some work on her. So once again, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing, and I will see you in another video. Bye-bye.